Hello viewers, well WRC Generations is out now. Many of you are playing it, enjoying it, having a good time, and there's some of you who aren't, sadly. It's one of those things when it comes to new racing games, but good to see in the main a lot of people enjoying the work that's been put into the game. There are a few bugs, there are a few teething issues, and we'll talk about some of those in this video today, but the developers are working on fixing those. Now today I'm taking a look at the Xbox version. So we see the Xbox Series X version running here in the whatever the 2K60 mode, and we see the various graphical details. I'll compare this to the PC and the PlayStation version in the coming days. Now immediately you come up against your first challenge on the Xbox version. That is my steering wheel, my what is it, Fanatic GT Pro DD wheel, which is the same as the CSL. Doesn't work on the game at present. There's some kind of issue. Put the game on and the steering wheel doesn't work, so all of the amazing driving won't be quite as amazing as usual because I'm using the control pad. Having said that, control pad works pretty well on the game. I'm impressed with how well it works. I could really zone into it and with practice get good. So I still feel that the Xbox controller is just better for this type of game than the PlayStation controller. I mentioned in my video the other day about the haptic controls, but I never mentioned well, I've mentioned this in many videos in the past, but the fundamentals of the PlayStation controller are not great for driving games. There's less travel on the triggers. Ergonomically, I just like the way the Xbox controller feels, and it's always been the design I've used for my driving, and that's why right now I'm using the Nakon controller, which feels pretty good, and the Xbox controllers, and they have nice travel and those fingers for controlling the car in various different situations. And in WRC Generations you really do need that control, and I think it's really important to get the balance right in terms of the energy deployment, because I've mentioned it before, it feels like a turbo when it comes in. It really, you know, you could be halfway in terms of going through your gears and then you get this surge of power launching you forward. It's really important that you have the control and the drivability of that power, so it's there when you need it to get in a flow, to really understand the car and controlling the momentum with the new weight that's available. I mentioned in one of my early videos actually that it was going to be interesting to see how many of you receive the game. I already knew, seeing the changes to the weight and the braking, that some people may like it more than others and may prefer even older versions and older styles of cars. I'm also going to run some tests in the coming days to check that the different formats handle the same as well. I'm having some different responses on the wheel between the PlayStation and the PC version. I'm going to analyse that and come back further, and of course I'll analyse the Xbox version as well, just to make sure there's a parity between them, and I'll put together some tests so that perhaps you at home can look at it and test some of the findings I'm finding to see if you're getting a similar effect. I'll also be looking at some of the setup work that you guys are doing to improve and optimize the car performance, to see how that improves my own performance on the various stages. Suffice to say, I really enjoy playing WRC Generations and it's been good fun. Now, one of the issues here you see is 60 FPS. I mentioned this on the PS5 video. When you turn on the game, you select the performance mode 2K60 and it doesn't work. You have to close the game, close the application, and then reopen it again without turning off your Xbox, and then it will run at 60. After that it will always run at your chosen setting. That is a bit of a pain because you go through your startup process where what's the graphics you want, how you want the game to look, and you select everything, and then it just doesn't acknowledge anything you selected. Again, this will be updated in the coming weeks, but it is a very curious oversight to see this doesn't work. And it's the same with some of the steering wheels. You know, these are fundamentals, these are basics with a racing game, a rally game like this. I know the studio has the wheels, and it just seems strange that this seems to have all slipped through testing right up to launch and still not implemented in launch, which is very strange indeed. So, and there's also another issue as well, which I've noticed, the rain and the windscreen, not needing windscreen wipers. There's some strange things in there where there's been some steps back, which we were hoping to see fixed with a day one patch, essentially updated, and it just never came. So lots to look at for in terms of improvements, and no doubt lots of bugs that need to be worked on as well. But I do know the developers are genuinely working very hard, and we hope to see a fix on a lot of that soon. So let's look at the Xbox version for a moment. Like the PlayStation version, I'll talk about this in the comparison video, but it's very much an upgraded Xbox One version. The colours are not quite as rich and as vibrant as the PC version. There is something missing there, no doubt. But in the main, there's lots of detail to enjoy. You know, when I travel to some of these locations, sometimes I just want to cruise. I had a little cruise earlier today round, where were we? Greece. And just cruising up the mountain, enjoying the view as we climbed up higher and higher and higher for the wonderful views and vistas that are available to us. Again, looking at the rock textures. I then went for a tour of Turkey, again admiring some of the rock textures and the detail to those roads, seeing them running at 60 FPS, as well as some of the different various weather conditions. And you know, there's so much in there in terms of the animation of the trees, the animation of various elements that are in the environment in the background. Of course, when you're running so many environmental elements, that means more LODs, and you do see some LODs popping into view on some of the replay cams. Now, I've only just started playing the console versions last week, and I've noticed it much more on the console versions than on the PC versions. There's clearly some work that needs to be done on some of the LODs when it comes to foliage, because they're popping into view quite often. There's some lighting artifacts and things like that. It's a bit rough around the edges on the console versions in comparison. And again, looking at the comparison video, I'll talk more about those. So the Xbox version itself, running on Xbox Series X, runs nice and smoothly. It doesn't matter what the weather I've thrown at it so far, how much is going on screen. I haven't seen any drops in frame rate, and it's always great to see rally games like this running at that lush 60 FPS. Unfortunately, whatever graphics engine Kiloton are using, it just wasn't doable to do this on the Xbox One and PS4. But now we have PS5 and Xbox Series X, at least you get the full fat 60 FPS experience, and it makes all the difference. Lighting effects look great at night, and in general it's a nice looking game. Now and again I do like to marvel at some of the foliage and detail, and as I say, rock textures in some of the stages. They are underrated and underappreciated by many in the rally community. But then again, these are usually dirt rally fans, but there are those in the community that seem to never give it the benefit of the doubt. So yeah, Xbox version runs and looks pretty great. I'll leave you with a bit of gameplay now to enjoy, and then I'll come back in the coming days with a comparison video looking at the graphics, and then after that, as soon as the steering wheel compatibility is available on Xbox, I'm going to look at steering wheel compatibility and making sure that that's the same across all formats in terms of handling and approach, because it's important for you guys as well, what with cross-play leaderboards, that all of the versions handle the same. So I'll be quite interested to see if there's any changes there. But any questions, do pop them into the comments. Do let me know what you're thinking about the game. If you're running into bugs, let me know where you find those bugs, what format you're on. Can we recreate those bugs? How can we recreate those bugs? Do let me know. As well as features that aren't in the game you'd like to have seen added. And that's it from me for now. I'll be back in the coming days, and there'll be more from me very soon.
Right 4, narrows and right 4. Into left 5, caution, 30. Left 3 over bridge, narrows. Right 6, tightens 4, short, 30. Left 4, don't cut, long. Right 4, into left right 6, short. Left 3, 200. Caution, right 4, long, 100. Caution, left 5, into right 4. Left 5, short, into right 4. And right 5, keep into left 5, short, 30. Left 5, medium, 30. Flat left, 30. Caution, left 4, short, 80. Flat left, caution, 30. Right 4, into left 5, into flat right, 30. Left 5, brake, into right 4, short, 30. Caution, chicane, right entry, keep middle, don't cut. Caution, hard brake, hairpin left, 50. Flat left, narrows, 200. Over crest, flat left, brake, 30. Left 4, short, and right 5, narrows, 30. Caution, brake, square right, narrows, 30. Right 3, into left 2. Into right 3, short, and right 4, tightens, narrows. And right 5, brake, into left 3, 80. Right 3, narrows, into left 3. Into right 4, into left 3, narrows. Into right 2 and right 3, cut. Into left 3 and right 2, don't cut. Into left